We're all going to follow.
Yeah, all good.
There you go.
Good.
We're all going right out behind you.
Good. Good. Let me know when you see me. That I experience. I choose the feelings that I experience. I choose the feelings that I experience. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for it. I ask for it. Welcome to A Course in Miracles on Facebook Live, and here in the room, we got a lot of people coming online right now. Mighty companions in here. Can we get a yo? Yeah, because I want to say hello to those of you who are in here. And we're doing a song by John Christmas called I Am Responsible. Upon the goal that I would achieve, I decide upon the goal that I would achieve. I decide upon the goal that I would achieve. I decide upon the goal that I would achieve. And what? And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for it. Good stuff. Ask for crazy stuff. You don't have to believe these ideas. Pay attention now. You don't have to accept these ideas. You don't have to welcome these ideas. Some of these ideas are going to be hard to believe. And some of these ideas are going to be quite startling. But if you use these ideas, you will see that these ideas are true, but only if you use them. I am responsible for the way that I see things. I am responsible for how I see things. I am responsible for whether I see love or fear. I am responsible for whether I feel peace or conflict, and everything that seems to happen to me in my perception, I ask for it. I ask for it. I don't care what you're feeling right now, you're choosing it. However you feel it in this moment right now, you are choosing it. How you feel about the people in your life right now, you are choosing it. Whether you feel good or bad right now, you are choosing it. Everything that you seem to feel, everything that seems to happen to me, everything that seems to happen to me in my perception, everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for it. Because I can see it another way. I can see it another way. I am responsible. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I am. Give it up, y'all. Come on. Hey, we're with family. You know how that is. I'm glad to be here with you. I hope you're glad to be here with me. Did somebody drag you here? Yeah. You drove you here, didn't you? Well, I'm happy to see y'all. You happy to see me? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Some of y'all say, kind of happy, used to be happy. But let's see. Brother David is online. Well, that's a trip. Hello, everybody online. Thank you for coming in. I want to give a shout out to Tamsin, Samuel, Barbie, CJ, David, Jerry, Nikki, Deanna, Nancy, Robin, Kim, Janet, Marcy, Bill, Demola, Marion, Roberta, David again. Okay, and there's a bunch of other folk coming online. So don't forget, if you're online, you can still make comments, you can still ask questions, as well as everybody in the room. And we're going to finish up this section today that I've been working on, that I've been determined to go all the way through this lesson. And the name of this lesson is The Responsibility for Sight. It's in chapter 21 in the Course in Miracles, chapter 21. We're going to be at paragraph 8 on page 449. And the reason why I want to make sure that I go through this whole thing is because the Course in Miracles says that this is the only thing you need to do for vision. This is the only thing you need to do to be happy. This is the only thing you need to do for release from pain and also to escape from any idea of being sinful. And it will be given to you. So the part of us that thinks it's separate, called the ego mind, loves to make everything complicated. There's a part of us that wants everything to be complicated because it's not easy for our ego to accept that we're simple. So we want to act like we're these really deep, complex beings that are hard to figure out, that you got to work so hard, And in the Course in Miracles, it says that simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. And that's a quote directly from the book. So the more your perception is distorted, then simple concepts are going to be elusive. So this book is telling us that if we were to say to ourselves, I'm responsible for what I see, love or fear. I choose the feelings I experience, love or fear. I decide upon the goal I will achieve, love or fear. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked, love or fear. Notice that didn't say, I'm responsible for taking care of everything I see. Sometimes when people hear that statement, I'm responsible for what they see, they're wrong-minded. They say, oh, I'm responsible for what I see. And you are responsible for how you see. That's what it means. You're responsible for how you see. And notice I said love or fear. I didn't say something physical. I didn't say your house, your car, your mate, your job, and all that. Because the Course in Miracles teaches that everything you physically see, everything in the physical world is neutral. That means everything in the physical world, it doesn't have any meaning until you give meaning to it. And that's when I want to go with basics. I'll say that's so important for you to hear. I do not have any meaning to you until you give me meaning. So I don't have meaning in and of myself to anybody until they give me meaning. Yeah, you can open it. And that's true about everything. Okay? The reason why we become trapped in unhappiness is because instead of letting things come and go, everything we see, let it come in and let it go, let it come in and let it go, something to catch our attention, and then we'll focus all our attention on that thing and not let it come and go like we let everything else come and go. And then we get stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like you drove over here and you saw, just line it up over there. Bring the chairs up a little bit so that y'all in a, yeah, I want to be able to look at you. You're cute. So I want to be able to look over there and think in pure thoughts. Okay, I got enough in here. I want to spread impure thoughts. Okay. I know, I always act like I can be myself around you all or something like that. I forgot that y'all judging the hell out of me. Okay. So, it doesn't make any difference whether you get that house, whether you get that car, whether you get that person, whether you get that job, because it's neutral. In the end, you're going to give yourself love about it, or you're going to give yourself fear about it. You're either going to give yourself peace about it, or you're going to give yourself conflict about it. So we're much more interested in the Course in Miracles about how you feel on the inside than what you're getting on the outside, because we know nothing you're getting on the outside is really going to make you happy in and of itself. You're going to be the one that determines whether it does. Some of you have heard that for years and years and years and years, and I would challenge you to be honest enough to say you still forget it. Yes. Yeah. How do you know I've forgotten it? I'm upset about something again.
Because I'm upset.
Because I'm upset. So I know I've forgotten it again. I still think I'm a victim of my feelings. So we're going to start on paragraph 8. And I want to help you read the Course and understand the Course when you read the Course. And I'm going to go through it. It says, be willing for how long? An instant. Anybody got enough time? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm busy. I'll get back to you. Be willing for an instant. What? To leave your altars. What's your altar? Your mind. You worship at your mind. You worship at the thoughts in your mind. So it says to do what? Leave your altars what? Free. Free of what? What you placed upon them. For just a minute, leave your mind free of what you put in it. And what is really there, you can't fail to see. So you're going to see what's really there when you, just for an instant, take away what you've made up to be there. Then the next sentence says the holy instant. Holy means healing. Holy means healing instant. It means loving instant. Whenever you come across the Christian terminology of the Course, just remember the Course in Miracles is only ever talking about what? Love or fear. So if you get stuck and you use the word holy instant, you could say loving instant. So the loving instant is not an instant of creation. So an instant of creation is not a healing instant. A healing instant is an instant of recognition. When you recognize correctly what's going on, that's going to be your healing. Then it says recognition comes of what? Vision. So I'm going to recognize you when I have vision. But where does vision come from? Suspended judgment. So I'm not going to see you until I stop judging you based on what I think, based on what I've learned in the past. Right? Like when I look at the news a lot of times, and I see image after image that say people of color looking like, every crime that looks like it's been committed, or every problem that looks, then people who live in areas that have no black bodies living there, if they think black people are like the images that they see on TV, of course they're scared to death. You follow what I'm saying? So you got to be willing to let go of your judgment, and I have to be willing to let go of my judgment to see you. Okay? Then it goes, then only is it possible to look within and see what must be there. How? Plainly in sight. So something that you can really see, the Course says, is wholly independent of inference and judgment. You never have to analyze the Course in Miracles. You don't have to analyze the Course in Miracles because it assumes you don't know what it's saying. It's written just like you don't know what it's talking about. And so in our adult wisdom, we think it's about me reading something, putting my interpretation of what it means. Then me reading the next sentence, and then putting my interpretation of what it means. Then me reading the next sentence, and putting my interpretation. And that's the incorrect way to study the Course. The Course in Miracles defines itself as you read it. And I'm showing you that right now. I'm showing you that right now. Like when it says, then when you have suspended judgment, then only is it possible to look within and see what must be there. Where? Plainly in sight. So what is plainly in sight? Independent of my inference, independent of my judgments. Then the mind says, okay, what's next? Undoing is not your job. It's not your job to undo. It is your job to welcome it. And so it's not your job to correct yourself. It's your job to learn how to let God correct you. Divine power correct you. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
We say it again.
Okay. Your job is not to undo your insanity because you're the one that made it. It's your job to get out of the way to let the universe correct it, spirit correct it. If you hear this correctly, and you can tell if you're hearing it correctly, because if you hear it correctly, you will feel relieved. If you're not feeling relieved, you're still using your judgment. That's how you know you're still judging it, because it doesn't make you feel better. The truth makes you feel better. God's answer makes you feel better. God's answer is some form of peace. I love that in the course. So I'll say it again. Undoing is not your task, but it's up to you to welcome it or not. Faith and desire go hand in hand. What you have faith in and what you desire go hand in hand. What you desire is what you have faith in, and what you have faith in is what you desire. So everybody believes in what they want. I wouldn't want the car if I didn't believe I could have one. You know, I wouldn't want something that I really didn't believe in. You are here because you already believe you're luscious. You are here because you already believe you are powerful and you're unlimited and you're beautiful and you're innocent and you're divine. That's why you can't. If you didn't believe that was true of you, you wouldn't come here. If you didn't think that was an attainable goal, you would never walk through the door. So you always want what you think you already are. Yeah, don't force yourself to feel better. Okay, I know it's like, I can feel better, man. I don't know. It's really kind of funny when you think about us. We're hilarious, you know. You said something good about me. I'm not going to trust that. In the first paragraph, and the questions about the first paragraph, and the questions about the first paragraph.
Says, I feel relieved when I hear from God.
I heard that. I heard that. And God's answer is peace. And I feel relieved when I hear from God. I heard you, Earl. Undoing is not your job. Your job is to learn how to let God correct you. That is right, Dharma, the Mola. The holy instant is what? An instant of suspended judgment. Okay. Vision comes from resting judgment. Mm-hmm.
So when I'm choosing not to undo my thought patterns because I'm the one who's created that fear, and so then it's my responsibility to say, God, you do this. You do this. Like
Decide for me, Holy Spirit.
Exactly. You decide. You
decide.
So when when that is my prayer, then that is me actively surrendering to undoing my thoughts.
Exactly. And here's another way to see that. How do I know when I'm really allowing spirit to take over? Well, I would do what it said.
Is that what
Okay. And what is it saying I should do? I'm responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience. I decide upon the goal I would achieve it. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. That is also me suspending my judgment, because I certainly wouldn't have thought to say that. I'm the one blaming the hell out of everybody. So that definitely would be what I... See, we're saying this stuff as if we thought of it. And the truth of it, I wasn't thinking of any of this until I read the book. Other than that, I was projecting and blaming and holding everybody else responsible and seeing myself as a victim. So then people would say, okay, I'm saying I'm responsible for what I see. Now what? No. Now, you really haven't been saying I'm responsible for what I'm seeing. You might have said it one time in the class according to an affirmation that we said, but is that really your first response to when you're upset saying I'm the one that's choosing this feeling? Is that really your first response when you are setting a goal saying I'm choosing this? The truth is, I'm not applying this idea to everything that's going on in my life right now. I'm taking hearing Earl say this as me doing this, and then I will feel like it's not working. I heard him say it, and it didn't change my life. Yeah. You know, think about it. There's a big difference between application and sort of hearing. Don't ever forget that, because the ego mind will really try to make you think you're doing what the Course has said because you're hearing me say it. I'll say that again. You're not doing it until you do it. And you know when you're doing it because you'll feel better. If you're not feeling better, you're not doing it. Because your mind will tell you you're really doing it and you don't feel better. No, the right use of judgment is your feelings, not your intellect. You can talk yourself into anything, but you know how you feel. You can be honest with yourself about how you feel. And you know when you don't feel happy. And you know that, and so if you feel miserable all the time, you ought to be saying, I'm wrong with my perception. I'm wrong with my perception. I'm wrong with my perception all day long. I'm wrong. I just see everything wrong. Everything that happens, I just see it wrong. I just wrong with the way I look at everything. I'm just so wrong. I'm wrong. My wrong is wrong.
Help me see it differently.
And help me see it differently. But see, yeah, help me see it differently, but I'm going to admit to myself that I'm not seeing it correctly because I don't want to be right when I'm unhappy.
Yeah, me either.
It's insane to want to be right and you're miserable.
Totally.
So it goes on to say, anybody else before I go to the next part?
So I was listening last week online, and what I took away with is that we're attached to being separate.
There's nothing we're more afraid of than joining. There's nothing. The Course in Miracles says you all are so afraid of love. You're so afraid of happiness. You're so afraid of joining. The very thing you're praying for is the thing you're most terrified of, which is connecting and joining. I've often said teaching. If I wanted to rid myself of most of the people in my class, all I have to do is make you all interact with each other. You would stop coming. 90% of the people would stop coming to this class. If you actually had to acknowledge the people around you, interact with the people around you. He says what we call joining is a bunch of separate people coming together in the same location for their own individual purposes. And then we say we joined today. No, you said in the same room today. You didn't no joining anything. We just all came to the same location, 1555 Ray Street. We didn't join because I got my problem. I'm here to hope I hear something that's solved, and I have my desire that I hope I can get. And that's what he said all of us are doing. And then we'll say we came together to join. But if I say actually look at the person behind you and say you're a totally innocent, sinless, gorgeous, luscious child of God, then it would be like a challenge. Except that now you would do it to prove me wrong. See, I know how you work. See, I know exactly how you go. Now, everybody's getting ready to do it. I'm going to show you I would. Okay, do it. Do it. Tell somebody to see it.
I'll try.
Now I want you to climb in their lap and give them a lap dance. Now you got to climb in their lap and give them a lap dance. Okay, hold it. I should have known this game right here. I was kind of, wait a minute. Put your clothes back on.
No way!
I should have known, if I attracted you, I should have known not to say that. Because you attract yourself, so I know. I know. Jesus, get out that woman's lap. I'll tell you. Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to go to the next paragraph before he comes and take me away. I think that's the safest thing for me. Don't you think so? I think it says, we've already said that wishful thinking is how the ego deals with what it wants to make it so. So the ego, which is the fearful mind, the mind that thinks it's separate, it just wishes for stuff. I wish for this, I wish for that. I wish for this, I wish for that. And I think wishing is going to make it happen. You follow what I'm saying?
Why is ego bad?
I didn't say the ego was bad. The ego, as the Course in Miracles defines it, is the part of us that thinks it's separate from God. The part of us that thinks it's separate from love. The part of us that thinks it's on its own. The part of us that believes in guilt and anger and manipulation. It is not using the Freudian definition of ego. And that's something that comes up a lot with people. The Course, it's a good thing. You need to have an ego. Your ego is what makes you single yourself out. So remember, the Course in Miracles, I'm glad you said that. The Course in Miracles has its own definitions for the terms that it uses. And that's why I suggest to people all the time, when you read it and then project your past learning on it, then that's what's going to make it a challenge to understand. See, it calls an ego the fearful mind, the part of the mind that thinks it's separate. And I do think that's a part of me that absolutely thinks I'm separate from all of you.
Me too.
And glad.
Another way to be saying that would be the subjective mind.
Well, it depends
would that
on.
Be the Freudian?
Well, yeah, that's the same thing. It's just think of the Course in Miracles as a language. So how do you say hello in Spanish?
Hola.
Hola. Okay. So if you want to learn Spanish and then they tell you that to say hello, you say hola, what do? You say hola. You don't analyze that. Right? Because it's a language. That's what the Course in Miracles is. It's a language. It's a way to communicate with each other that allows you to allow miracles and love to happen in your life. It's a way that we communicate with each other. So if you look at it like a language, then it's easier to hear it. Because it is going to contradict other things that you've learned that's different from that. So it isn't about reconciling what the Course says to what you already believe. It's not like I got to reconcile Spanish with French. I've got to know French is one way of speaking, Spanish is another way of speaking. If I want to speak to people that speak Spanish, then I need to speak Spanish and not French. So if you want to communicate in a way that is absolutely based in your innocence and unconditional love, then that's the language of A Course in Miracles. And it's so unconditionally loving that it's a challenge for people who don't unconditionally love themselves. So you find yourself resisting a teaching that's only saying you deserve perfect happiness. That's the part about teaching this that's been fascinating in the 37 years I've been doing it. Is that all it's saying is you deserve love, you deserve love. No matter what you've done, you deserve love. No matter what mistakes you made, you deserve love. You deserve love, you only deserve love. You can have love. Don't you want to get out of the way of you having love? You deserve love. Which it says is the last thing a person that feels truly guilty and sinful want to hear, because they think the way to absolve themselves is through punishment. So if you're not being condemned and punished, and you believe you're guilty, then someone telling you you're totally innocent sounds like someone who's deceiving you.
Yeah.
So then I look like that I'm the devil in the cloak of an angel. And I'm telling you things that's not true. And so people become afraid. Because I don't think I'm sinless, guiltless, and innocent. I can point out that, well, prom night, just no prom night. Last night, we were you don't even have to go back this morning. Hour ago. Yeah, I'm sorry. You are not going to enjoy A Course in Miracles if you want to condemn yourself. It is not for people who believe punishing themselves is the way out. That's why the class isn't big. If I was telling you you were sinful and guilty and going to hell, then it would be thousands of people, a mega church, and tithing. You know what you see it on TV every day. You're going to find yourself defending against a man that's telling you that you deserve to be happy. Think about that for a minute. I'm saying you deserve love, and you're figuring out every way I could be wrong. That's deep. That's sad, actually. I'm saying you deserve happiness, and you're going, you're trying to fool me. Yeah, deep. So I don't try to change anybody's mind. I do not defend the truth. I do not debate it. Because if it's the truth, it's true whether I believe it or not, or whether you believe it or not. And if it's the truth, you're going to find out it's the truth sooner or later anyway. So I teach people who want to hear what I'm saying. And I'm perfectly okay if none of you all agree with anything I say. I shouldn't even be in the front of the room if you need to agree with everything I say. And another thing I want to say is, look, I make mistakes, I have an ego, and I'm not very nice in some ways myself. So don't put me up on a pedestal. That just means you can take better aim. I don't want you to think I'm perfect. I'm not here to act out your expectations of what you think a spiritual teacher should be like. Spare me, because I'm going to disappoint you. Okay? So I'm not going to try to impress you by being the way you think a spiritual person should be. You be the way you think a spiritual person should be. Don't put it on me. I'm serious about that. You be the way you think I should be. Because if any kind of teacher is a projection screen for the egos and the thoughts of everybody sitting in front of them. And I take responsibility that I'm willing for you to project on me, but I certainly am the one that chooses whether or not you have an effect on me. So me demonstrating is letting you think whatever you want to think about me and me not giving a damn. Then I demonstrate to you that words don't have to affect you. You know why? Because I know where I'm coming from in my heart. I know I only want the best for you and the best because you are me. If any of this is true, my wanting happiness for you is wanting happiness for me. Now the whole oneness crap is crap. So for me to sit up here and want to manipulate you while at the same time saying you are my brothers and sisters, you are me, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It just means I'll attract more manipulative people into my life because your mind determines the people you draw to you. So I don't worry about, it's like I don't worry about what you think about me. I worry about it and worry about what I think about me. Because I don't know how to break it to you, but I'm with me all the time. I'm just going to see you for 30 more minutes. And then it really doesn't matter to you what you think about me. 15 minutes later, you'll be thinking about something else. I'm not that important to you that you think about me too much after you leave. I know that. And I don't take it personally because I don't think about you too much after you leave. But I want love and peace for all of you. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Right.
I want you to be happy. I'm sincere about that, but I'm not caught up in how you're going to act when you leave this room. I'm too busy putting myself down. Or dealing with my issues. Or what I want. Or what I think was different. Or how I need to feel about me. Right? That's what you're doing. You're thinking about me relative to you. I'm thinking about Earl relative to what he said to me today and how it affects my life. Not Earl. You follow me? Yeah, so just give yourself a break. Be the way you want to be, dress how you want to dress, express yourself how you want to express yourself, because other people are not thinking about you. The only ones that's thinking about you are the special ones. And they only think about you in terms of how you're going to make them special. That's what the special one's thinking about. Hey, I don't care about what you think or what you do, except is what you're thinking going to bring you closer to me? Or is what you're thinking going to take you away from me? That's all I'm concerned about. If you're thinking something that's going to move you away from me and not give me the specialness and attention that I want, then we're going to have to talk about it. But if you're studying something and you're learning something that's going to make you treat me more special and loving, I love that teacher. If I dominate and control you and you come to a class and that teacher tells you you're independent, you're free, you should follow your own will, do what makes you happy, not allow yourself to be manipulated by guilt, and you got a partner or a friend that's doing all of that to manipulate you, they're going to hate me. They're not going to want you to come to this class. So that's why, because what she's learning is taking her away from my control. You see what I'm saying? So don't fool yourself about people who say they love you and they don't know what love is. They don't love you. They want specialness from you. And they want you to give them specialness. That's it. And only them. Don't forget that part. Only them. And in return, I'm going to give you my dysfunctional love. Aren't you lucky? I don't know nothing about how to love. I got a million hang-ups. But don't you want me?
And only me.
Whoa. So if you're cute, just shut up and you'll have dates. Okay. Because, people are not concerned about how you think when they're unconscious. They're concerned about how you look, what you got. Not your mind. Like went to a party just like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, nobody's taking me home. But I come in there looking like it's, hot, fine, I've been working out. and I'm substantially younger than I am. I'm going home with somebody. That's right. I got to worry about that. That's why you think people work on their looks more than their mind. They know they in a world that matters more than how they think. You know what I mean? If you want to have peace, just look ugly. Because then nobody's going to be interested. So you're going to have peace. You're going to have freedom. They don't care what you do. I know that's too real. I gotta talk more holy, shouldn't I? It's too real in the way I communicate. Okay. We've already said that wishful thinking is how your ego deals with what it wants to make it so. There is no better demonstration of the power of wanting, which is what? Faith, to make its goals seem real and possible. Faith in the unreal leads to adjustments of reality to make it fit the goal of madness. What in the heck does that mean? That every time you have faith in something that's not real, you've always got to keep adjusting and compromising. If it's not a real love, you all got issues in processing, because it's not real in the first place. If it was real, you wouldn't be trying to get me to change myself for you. And if it was real, I wouldn't be trying to get you to change yourself for me. So the more unreal it is, the more adjustments and compromises that need to be made. The more we're not loving each other, the more laws and rules we need to govern us. If we loved each other, we would need no laws. The fact that we don't is why we got a gazillion of them. We have to actually be legislated to treat each other right.
Yeah.
All right. Then it goes on to tell us, the Course in Miracles says, the goal of sin, which is insanity, which is attack, induces the perception of a fearful world to justify its purpose. In other words, what you desire, you will see. That's a universal law. You see what you desire. You see what you desire to see. You see in me what you desire to see in me. Some people walk in and they say, I like Earl, and that's what they desire to see, so they see things about me they like. Some people come in and say, I don't like him, and so then they see everything in me that they don't like. So you see what you desire to see, and if it's false, you will uphold it by not realizing all the adjustments you introduced to make it so. So if you are trying to do something that's not real, you don't even realize, for instance, if somebody really doesn't love you, but you want to believe that they do, you don't realize all the things you're going to tell yourself to convince yourself that they do. If it's not false, then you're going to have to if it's not real, you're going to have to make all kinds of adjustments to make it seem real to you. Mm-hmm. So whatever is not real, then you want it to be real, you're going to make all kinds of adjustments to convince yourself that it's real. Uh-huh. And then it says, when vision is denied, confusion of cause and effect becomes inevitable. The purpose now becomes to keep hidden the cause of the effect and make the effect appear to be the cause. This seeming independence of effect enables the effect to be regarded as standing by itself. It looks like I created me instead of God created me. It looks like I'm the one it doesn't look like I'm the cause of my experience. It looks like I'm at the effect of my experience. It looks like I'm the victim of things that are happening to me. He says we reversed it. Instead of seeing ourselves as the cause of how we feel and think, we see everything else as the cause of how we feel and think. Totally. He says we totally reversed everything. You know, instead of seeing myself as powerful, I see myself as weak. Instead of seeing myself as loving, I think I don't know how to love. He says we reversed everything. Mm-hmm. And then it goes on, the Course in Miracles says to us that, and also remember this when you study the Course, if you don't understand the sentence, don't worry about it. Keep on going, because it assumes you don't understand it, so it's going to say the same thing a million different ways, hoping that one of the ways it says that you're going to get it. I'll say this again, Course in Miracles students. It's a trick. You try to stay on one sentence that you think I said that you don't understand, because your understanding isn't a powerful contribution to the truth. Your understanding is not a powerful contribution. Your understanding doesn't make the truth true. And even if you don't understand something, you can still learn from it. So your understanding isn't as important as you think it is. It's a trick. I don't understand nothing about the laws of aerodynamics, but I sure did make it to London last year. I just need to know what to do to get on the plane. And that's what these books are. They say, this is what you need to do to get on the plane of your happiness. This is your ticket. So if you would be willing to just hear this without feeling like you had to understand every bit of it, then, you know, if I say to myself, I was not going to turn the lights in this room until I understand how electricity works, then you'd be sitting in a darkened room. Your understanding is not what's important. Mm-hmm. It's your willingness. Mm-hmm. It's your willingness to allow God, allow peace, allow love, allow the truth. And then get the blocks out of the way that keeps you from being able to do that is what the Course in Miracles is about. It's about removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. Your butt deserves to be loved. Stop getting in the way. You are the problem. The universe wants to bless you up and down. It's your thinking you need to understand it before you can allow it that slows the whole process down. I love you. You're fighting me. I love you. So the time I could be loving you, I'm trying to convince you to let me love you. That's a lot of waste of time. I gave up seduction a long time ago. Because you don't have to seduce somebody that's for you. You just have to seduce the people that don't want you. Unless, of course, y'all know you're going to have to hook up, but you just love to dance. That's what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? You want to know the love is already there, the connection is already there. Y'all really going to join and connect? Now let's do the dance. You want total yeses in your life, not total maybes. wanting total no's. You want yes. And you all know when you yes to somebody, some way or another, you let them know. There's not a woman or man in this room that's really into somebody that some kind of way doesn't try to let them know it if they had an opportunity to let them know it. You don't ever have to worry about if somebody's into you or not. If they're really into you, they're going to communicate it some kind of way. Even if they're bashful, they'll slip you a note. So stop thinking that it's a big mystery who cares about you, who's attracted to you, who wants to be in your experience. If you say, let's get together, and they get out their appointment book, and they can see you 2 months from Saturday, you're not too special. Because they're not going to tell their boyfriend 2 weeks from now. They're not going to tell their girlfriend, I'll get back with you in a month. They're going to get with them within 24 to 48 hours, if that's what they want to hook up. That busy person, they couldn't see you for 2 months, could see their lover in 24 hours. See, it's the way you at on the specialist scale. So you tell me 3 months from now, I know that I'm really in a peaceful relationship with you. I know who gets in hell. Number one. Number one has all the expectations and demands on them. So you better, I love the lesson. There's a lesson in the Course of Miracles that says, I choose the second place to gain the first. I love that statement. Don't never make me number one. Nobody who's in any kind of relationship with me needs to make me number one. You will not hear from me saying, make me number one, make me number one. Who wants that hellacious position but God? Only God wants to be number one. God is the only one that's strong enough to have to be the number one with you. God loves you in spite of how you are. Make God number one. Make me number 2, 304. Well, everybody's body got the same body parts. There's not a man that doesn't basically have the same body parts as a woman that doesn't have that. So trying to get after the body parts is stupid dumb. It's too many of the body parts that's available. What makes people different is their consciousness, their spirit. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to make sure that I'm getting with somebody that has the consciousness that I'm looking for. I ain't got to worry about the body. They got the body parts. That's coming with the body. But I remember when I used to be a body part seeker. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anybody here been a body part seeker? Come on now. Don't be looking at me like I'm saying something crazy. Y'all know y'all been body part seekers now. Come on. Okay? So I'm here to tell you there are billions and billions, like Carl Sagan used to say. Don't worry about the body parts. Everybody's got them. But what you want to be sure is that you're not choosing a psycho with nice body parts. And then I used to say, well, that's okay. I'll take him to a class.
Yeah, right. I'll change it.
I'll change him. That's okay. She's crazy as hell, but look at those breasts. That's too real, isn't it? I'm being too adult. I know I am. I'm being much too adult. Spiritual people don't talk about breasts. They talk about butt. Hey! I should have known what they said. You're going to run these people away. They're never going to come back. Okay. No, I believe you're me. I believe you're adults. I believe we can be real, and I believe we can talk. Yes. I really do. So, it says, when vision is denied, I love it. It says, he says, earlier we spoke of your desire to create your own creator. That's really deep. You desire to create, in other words, we make up God. We make God in our image instead of seeing what we are as created by God. We're jealous, God is jealous. We kill, God kills. Notice that when you read the God of the Bible the way it's traditionally interpreted, God sounds like a dysfunctional, insane, insecure child.
Yep.
So what did man do? We made God in our image. And then it goes on to say, this is the same desire. He says, we spoke of earlier, we spoke of your desire to create your own creator and be father and not son to your creator. This is the same desire. You, the effect, whose cause you would deny. And so since you're denying you were created, you seem to be the cause, producing real effects. Nothing can have effects without a cause. Nothing can have effects without a cause. There's nothing happening in your life that there's not a cause for. So to confuse cause and effect is merely to misunderstand and not understand them both. So what does that mean? It means it is as needful for you to recognize you made the world you're looking at as that you recognize you didn't create yourself. You need to recognize you're making things the way you're looking at it, and you didn't create yourself. You did not create yourself. You did not create yourself. You didn't create yourself. You didn't create yourself. Something created you. Something created you. And it had to be pretty darn intelligent, I guess. Did you hear me? So what are the two things I need to recognize? I didn't create myself, but I'm the one that's making up the way I see things. It says they are the same mistake. Nothing created not by your creator has any influence over you. What does that mean? If it wasn't created by God, it doesn't have any real control over you. And the reason why I know that that the images that we have of each other were not created by God, because we don't have any control over each other. If I truly created you, I'd have control over you. The fact that I don't have control over you means that I didn't create you. And the fact that you don't have control over you means you didn't create you. Or you have control over yourself at a real level. That's deep when you really think about it. And then the Course in Miracles says that to confuse the two what is to make the same mistake. So what does that mean? It means if you think that what you have made can tell you what you see, if you think that what you made can tell you what you feel, if you place your faith in its ability to do so, you are denying your creator and believing that you made yourself. In other words, if you think that the world you made has the power to make you what it wills, you're confusing yourself with God, you're confusing effect and source. So you're the one that's making the way that you see things, and so the way that you see things doesn't have any power over you, because you're the one that's making the way you see yourself. So the way you see yourself has no power over you. The way that you see yourself has no power over you. Your self-image has no power over you. Your concepts of yourself have no power over you, because your concepts of yourself didn't make you. You made your concept of yourself. So whatever habits that you think you have to live under, you don't. You're the one that made up you're bashful. You're the one that made up you're shy. You're the one that made up that you're not aggressive. You're the one that made up that you... See, all of your images of yourself have no control over you because you made them up. So just because you've been bashful all your life, that doesn't mean you have to be bashful for the rest of your life. Just because you thought you weren't enough for many years in your life, it doesn't mean for the rest of your life you can't love yourself and see your values. Whatever your personality is, it doesn't run you. You're the one that runs it. So when you say, well, I just can't do that because I've always been so shy, I just can't speak in front of a group of people. So that's you letting your own image of yourself have control over you. As if that image just, you walk down the street one day and bashfulness just attacked you. Then all of a sudden you're controlled by your bashfulness.
Or you're just born that way.
Or I was just born that way. Those are all lies. You learn to look at yourself the way you're looking at yourself. And then you chose relationships that reinforce that. Yes.
So can you please give me an example of something that God didn't create?
Everything you see. Everything that you see, all fear you see, all anger you see, all guilt you see, all depression you see, all separation you see, that is our meanings that we are giving everything, because we are the one that's naming everything. See, if it wasn't for names, we would not see ourselves as separate. It's our perception that makes us think we're separate. So your perception is an example of what's not made by God. Anything you're looking at isn't made by that which is eternal, because that which is eternal never ends. It never changes. It's always there. The thing we can count on about the Creator is that the Creator doesn't change like we do. That it's stable. That love is always there. It will always be there. That guidance is there. It will always be there. And everything else is what we're making up. And the Course says what Spirit does in His infinite wisdom is take everything we made up and use it to free us. I'll say that again. Spirit takes everything you're looking at and uses it to bring us back to the awareness of love. That's why we don't have to fight our families, our jobs, what we believe, our skills, and everything about our life. Everything about your life can be used by Spirit to bring you to the recognition of yourself as a divine being. We don't have to be in opposition with our physical reality to be spiritual. Everything in your life could be used as a means to wake you up. The person you're in a relationship with right now, the job you have, the car, anything you made up could be used to free you. by spirit. But it doesn't mean that spirit created it. You're the one that's determining how you see it, so you're the one that's making up the effect that it has on you. You follow what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just think of it this way. This is going to be really simple. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Anything that's made by the Creator is permanent, and anything that we make up is temporary.
That's right.
Now you know the difference between what's real and what's not. If it doesn't last, it's not real. If it ends, it's not real. Because something that's real is something that you can always depend on and will always be there. Something that's unreal is something that's temporary and comes and goes and begins and ends. That's why you know ultimately you're not a body. That's why you know ultimately none of this is real, because let's say for sure 5,000 years from now this won't be here. So we are mostly making ourselves feel upset about things that don't last and it's not real anyway. Follow that now. But you know something? That's not really important. Like to try to grasp what I just said, that's not really important. You know what's really important? What's really important is to recognize you're responsible for how you see things. You choose the feelings that you experience. You're deciding what your goals will be, and then everything that seems to happen to you, you're the one that's determining that and experiencing it. See, keep it simple. See, there's a part of us that wants to go into deeper and deeper what appears to be abstract concepts to keep us from doing the simple things that's being required to us right now that would free us from all pain. That's why I don't talk about theoretical issues. I don't talk in here a lot about reincarnation. Why? Because I can't prove it to you. I don't talk about anything that you couldn't apply right now in your life if you walked out of this door. That's what's cool about what we're doing in here. Now, the man would love to get into, do I live a million times? This is my first life, or this is not my first life, or, you know, it's like, or what about the starving children in Africa, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff is just excuses not to apply the very simple truths that we're being told to use to ourselves in our day-to-day life. That's what it's really about. So what's real, you can always depend on. And I want a love I can depend on.
Me too.
I'm tired of human love. Human love sucks.
Yes, it does.
Because human love is just too freaking conditional. You're going to love me today if I act right. You're not going to love me if I don't act right. Who needs it?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just get real for a minute. The way you treat me is based on how you're seeing me from moment to moment. As soon as you change your mind about me, you're going to treat me different. And I may do the same thing to you. This book is saying, don't y'all want something realer than that?
Yeah.
Don't you want something you can depend on all the time that doesn't come and go?
Yeah.
And it's okay, that's going to call for you to allow it and to let go of the blocks that keep you from having it. And I'm going to tell you what the blocks are, and I'm going to tell you you can't undo them. And that's what freaks you out, because you can't do it. Because as an adult, we've been told we need to be the one that does it all. That if you're an adult, you should be self-sufficient, autonomous, and be able to handle everything on your own, especially if you're a man. Right? You know, that's all we hear. You need to be in charge. You need to know the most. You need to be the leader. You know, it's hard for a man's woman to come home and tell him she's listening to something that another man is telling her. And he go, when you go see this dude, who's this Purdy guy? Let me see who he is. What is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know, what the Course in Miracles is saying is, step it up. Step it up. There is something real. You don't have to be hurt. You don't have to be in pain. You can have real joy and happiness. You can be taken care of. There is a love that's beyond your comprehension. Be glad it's a love beyond your comprehension. You know, I want to finish these last two paragraphs because I'm tired of telling this section. Okay. You know why? Because I know that it only takes you remembering one sentence that I said. You can let go of everything else and remember one thing you heard today and apply it consistently and watch your whole life transform. Just one. But the man said, man, can I remember everything he said? No. Just remember one thing he said. Or just forget the whole thing and say, I'm totally willing, Holy Spirit. You take over right now. You be in charge. I don't know what anything is for. I do not perceive my own best interests. I see just a little bit of the big picture. I don't see everything. I don't see the future. But there's a part of me that knows what's going to happen to me already. Wow. We're so blessed.
Yes, we are.
We are ridiculously blessed, but we just don't know it. So our crime is unawareness. And that's no real crime. And the right cute people online, as well as the people in here.
That's right.
Okay. So here's the last two paragraphs. It says, and I'm going to paraphrase this because it says a lot of Christian terminology of the Son and the Father. I'm going to say what it's talking about. Okay, here we go. Your creations are like your Creator's creations. But in creating your creations, you don't delude yourself that you're independent of your Creator. I'll say it again. I can create, my Creator can create, but my Creator creates through me, so it's nothing I'm creating that's independent of what created me. In other words, I'm talking to you because something gave me life. So there's nothing that I do that's separate from what's giving me life, or I never would be able to do anything for you. So there's nothing I ever do separate from that which gave me life. Does that make sense to everybody? There's nothing you have life. That's God. So whatever you do, you're using life to do it. So there's nothing you ever do that's separate from God, because God is life. How do you know God exists? You do. Even though you do some doo-doo. Right? You have a little baby. Right? They poop and you change them. They can't do nothing for themselves. They cry and poop. Right? That's us. That's us. We're like little babies now who need to allow the divine to take care of us until we can allow ourselves more awareness. Really be willing to look at yourself and be as the little child. Those books are not kidding when it says that. Be as a little child. You really don't know. We are little children relative to God, our God selves. As humans, we may be adults. But in terms of who we are relative to our spiritual identity, we're just now getting in touch with that. We're like little babies trying to get in touch with our spiritual identities. So be willing to have your diaper changed, the diaper of your finances, the diaper of your thoughts, the diaper of your relationships. Put everything in your life in the hands of the part of you that does know.
That's right.
That's the easy path. That's the easy path. And I need to be reminded of this. That's why I teach this, so that I can be reminded of it. And so it says, apart from this, your union with God, you have no power to create. And what you make is meaningless. So anything that you make that's not based and rooted in love doesn't mean anything, is what we're being told. Remember, it's about content, not form. I don't care what you do. If you're not doing it in love and happiness, it don't mean anything. I don't care what you got. If you're not enjoying it and feeling grateful for it, it has no value. What's the point of having it if you're not enjoying it and really feeling love in it? So that's how you can tell what's meaningless in your life and what's not. Not because it's physically there, but what are you giving yourself through it? That's what makes it meaningful. I'm in a relationship with you, then what gives it meaning? What gives it meaning is how much love we're sharing, how much truth we're sharing, how much caring we're sharing. That's what makes it important.
So where does this responsibility fit into this? We don't always do what we love. Certain things that we do because it's responsibility.
It depends on what you mean by responsibility. What I mean by responsibility is that you are no longer blaming something outside of yourself for the way that you are feeling. That you are taking responsibility for your experience of your experience. How I experience you right now is my responsibility. My happiness is my responsibility. I'm not holding you responsible for that. So you're right. We got a ton of responsibility that is just the opposite of what a person that's happy is a person that takes responsibility. So the happier you are, then I'm not blaming you for how I'm feeling. I'm not holding you responsible for my joy. I'm not going to get in a relationship with you and say, your job is to make me happy. I'm responsible for that. If I'm sad, I'm responsible for that. If I'm angry, I'm responsible for that. That's not saying that I'm going to pretend that I'm not angry. I'm just going to tell the truth that I'm the one that's making me angry. That's taking responsibility.
So the example I have, the epiphany of being with the Course in Miracles, is when I started taking responsibility from carrying the false narratives of my Roman Catholic background. I started claiming no longer was I a sinner and unworthy of God's love, but that I am worthy and I am deserving of God's love.
That's you taking responsibility.
Right.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's what I'm saying. All you got to do is take this one sentence. I give everything I see all the meaning it has for me. So therefore, it is my responsibility how I'm seeing myself and how I'm interpreting myself and how I'm interpreting you. The way I see, when I make up an ego for me, I make up an image I call Earl. Y'all all do it. But you guess what? I also make up an image for all of you, which I call my opinion of you. So I not only make an ego for me, I make an ego for all of you. And not only that, I react to the projection I put on you as if it was correct. You know what I'm saying? I say, you're a selfish person.
Crazy.
Well, I put that on you. That is your ego to me, right? So then I say, you don't like me. And so what do? I see you and I go, well, she doesn't like me. And then I react to her like she doesn't like me. And she didn't say she didn't like me. I made up that she didn't like me. Then I reacted as if my interpretation was correct. And she didn't even have to be present. I could have done it at home washing dishes. Right? So the person doesn't even have to be present for you to go from liking them to not liking them. You can stand over the sink and go, I really like her, but it looked like she had a funny attitude toward me today. I don't think she really liked me. I'm going to show her next time. I haven't interacted with her or anything. That's what the Course is saying. We're the one that's making up the whole trip. That's not fair. So the Course says, okay, well, how do I not hurt myself with my judgment? But then the book says, well, I'll tell you exactly how to do that. I'm going to give you a judgment to use in every situation. When you use this judgment, you will never hurt yourself. Since you just have to judge, you got to judge. You know we love to judge. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. Right? We love to judge. So he says, I'm going to judge you as love and a call for love. So if somebody's upsetting me now, I go, that doggone big intergalactic call for God. Instead of saying that, no damn bastard. I go, God, you a big call for God the way you cut me off in traffic today. God, you a call for help. That judgment didn't hurt me. That judgment would never hurt me, but I said it with all the feeling I felt. I didn't have to suppress my feeling. I just put all that feeling behind the truth. You either expressing love for me right now in this argument, and we both calling for love with each other. I'm calling for love with you. You calling for love with me. I'm calling for love with you. You calling for love with me. And I'm calling for love, putting your bags out in the street. That judgment won't hurt you. Why? Because you're saying love, 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 call for love, love, call for love, love, call for love, love. So what are you hearing? Love, 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 love. What are you going to start attracting? Love, 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 love. So think about how many times a day you get an opportunity to call for a blessing to yourself in your anger and your peace. And if you're mad most of the time, you're praying all the time. So be glad about that. See, that's another way you can look at it that frees you. Except you just don't want to be free. Right? So I just told you could be cussing somebody out. It's a call for love. You could be giving them the finger in the traffic. That's a call for love. That's what it is. Wow. Because I'm acting like this person really made me mad by changing lanes. Rather than me saying, I'm making myself mad because the person changed lanes. See the difference? I'm making myself angry with you right now because of how tight you were holding that person at that party last night. And I'm making myself want to leave you, and I'm making myself so jealous about that. I hope I'm wrong about the way I saw you looking at her last night. I need another way to look at it. See, that's a different kind of argument. Notice I was owning every bit of what was going on. See, this is a language. This is another way to communicate that will free you. It is as easy as the other way, and it gets better results. Because one day you're going to go, I'm making myself jealous. I'm making myself jealous. That's what you're going to do it so many times. You go, oh, I'm making me angry, and I feel it in my body, and I feel crappy, and I'm giving myself a heart attack. So why should I want to attack myself about what I perceive you as doing? And all of a sudden you cut that stuff out because you see the other person is watching you kill yourself about them. And if you argue with them enough, they'll be glad. I'm angry at you. I'm angry at you. Why did you do that to me? Why did you do that to me? You held her too tight. That's what you're doing every time you're all upset. And then expecting them, and they're not feeling it. They're not feeling it at all. So if there's somebody you broke up with that you're not with anymore, and you're still holding a grievance and you're not letting yourself have any more relationships because you had such a horrible relationship, and you had that grievance toward that person, They could be in Hawaii right now, partying like a big dog, and they don't know nothing about what you're feeling. You're the one at home on Saturday night because you want to open your heart up again because you're afraid of being hurt. Who's hurting who? Stop attacking yourself, telling yourself you're attacking someone else. You deserve better than that. Last paragraph. Because I'm getting through with this. Okay? I'm going to do this last paragraph. Can y'all do this last paragraph with me? Can you handle it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It says, whatever you make it, if it's not love, it's not changing nothing in creation. It depends entirely upon your madness, and it can't serve to justify the madness. Your brother thinks he made the world with you. The other people around you think they're also making the way. They also think that they're the victim. They're the one that's making the world too. So they are denying that they were created. And with you, the other person thinks that the world that they made is making them. Everybody thinks somebody else is doing something to me at some level, that I'm the victim at some level. The chorus says, yet, I love it when it goes to speak Russian. It says, yet, the truth in you and the truth in your brother were both created. You were both created by a loving creator. All of us was created. We were all created by a loving creator. Good news, the loving creator created you together. We were all created together. We can't get away from each other. We've been trying. We even changed bodies, but we still couldn't get away from each other. I say it again. We changed bodies, but we still couldn't get away from each other. Because you'll see somebody and you'll go, I feel like I know you. I know I was trying to get away from you. Me turning black didn't do it. You still recognize me. And you'll say, I'm just attracted to him. I don't know why. The Course in Miracles says a lot of stuff that doesn't sound romantic. Like, whenever you're attracted to somebody, it's because they just remind you of a grievance you got. Yeah. That's why you're attracted to them, because they actually remind you of something you know you're going to have to forgive. Then here's your next forgiveness lesson showing up, and you go, I'm attracted to you. Yeah, I know it, because we got to learn how to forgive together. That's why you're attracted to me. That's why it starts out so good, and then later on you're going, I want to commit suicide. Or later on you're going, this is the best relationship I have ever had in my life, because maybe you use that opportunity to actually see each other different and have a really loving relationship with each other. That happens. I heard about it. I'm just trusting this happening. Okay. Then the Course in Miracles says, okay, what's the truth? The truth in you is that we were both created by a loving creator, that we were created together and as what? One. Then it says, see what proves otherwise, and you're denying your whole reality. So when we don't see it that way, we're denying the whole truth about us. Then the Course in Miracles said, but grant that in it, everything that seems to stand between you and the other person, keeping you from each other, keeping you separate from each other, is what you made in secret, and the instant of release has come to you. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to say that any separation that I feel between us is the result of something that I'm believing and thinking that I don't know I'm believing and thinking. It's something that I have made in secret. I have something that I'm telling myself that's making me feel separate from you all. And if I feel separate from somebody, it's because of something I'm telling myself. It's something that I'm telling myself to make me stay separate from you. He said, just admit that any separation you feel from anybody is coming from thoughts that you have that you may not be aware of, that you call a secret, even to you. Now, sometimes we say that, I don't like them and I don't know why. I'm with you and I don't feel peace and I don't quite understand why. And that's all this book is saying to us. Read it with me. I'm not making this up. It says, granted everything that seems to stand between you and your brother, keeping you from each other and separate from your father, you did what? You made in secret, and the instant of release has come to you. All separation's effects are gone because the source of the separation has been uncovered. What's the source of the separation? Me. I say again, what's the source of the separation? Me. And it says, it is its seeming independence of its source that keeps you in prison. What does that mean? It looks like what's happening to me, I have nothing to do with it. That's why it looks like I can't change it, because I don't think I have anything to do with it. Last sentence. This is the same mistake as thinking you are independent of the source God by which you were created, and guess what? You never left. You never left God. You never left love. You are still as connected to source as ever. You still have access to all the answers and solutions and healings that you've ever wanted to have. Right now, you still have access to it. There is no separation between you and me. There is no separation between us and God. It's the biggest trick that we could ever play on ourselves. And we have decided not to trick ourselves again. How do we know that? Because we are here, and we're hearing this. Would you acknowledge yourself for making it through this Holy Spirit? Woo! Woo! Give me a hand. Thank you. Okay, one little quick thing before we run out of here. Let's do the financial expression of appreciation right now. I appreciate you for sharing with me in this teaching ministry at Unity Temple also. Let me send this around this way. You all are a blessing to me as a full-time teacher of this. I don't have a fee for coming to my classes because I want people to be able to come regardless of their financial situation. So I appreciate you being willing to share with me. Those online, just go to earlpurdy.com if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation to support my teaching ministry. And I'm also available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions, where I show you how to apply these principles to situations in your life that you know you're using to keep you from having the kind of happiness you want. And I'm also an astrologer and a numerologist, and it is extraordinarily helpful and just as spiritual as the Course in Miracles and everything else. Remember what I said earlier about the Course in Miracles teaching you that whatever skills you've learned, whatever talents you have, can be used as a way to heal you and everyone else. So don't think being spiritual means what you are doing in the world cannot be used, which is really good. You know, if you're a lawyer and you hate it, but then there's a way the Spirit will show you how you can take all that skill to free yourself and everybody else, that's a blessing. So thank you. Whatever your skills are, you can have those skills bless you. You don't have to change everybody or anything in order to ultimately be happy. Everything you've learned, the relationships you're in, could be used to bring you total joy and happiness. And if you choose to change it, you're still innocent, and whatever you change to could be used to bring you joy and happiness. Did y'all follow what I said? Yes. So you're not stuck. If you decide you want to change it, change it. But don't think you had to change it in order to be happy. But don't condemn yourself if you choose to change it. Because you're innocent. Any way you go. There's nothing you can do that can be used by infinite intelligence for your good. So I'm responsible for what I see. Oh yeah. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can find out more about the services that I offer. I'm only doing this class live, as well as online, which you can come join me, like you did today. Now, Tuesday night, we're a mastery class at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Is only online at Earl Purdy, www.facebook.com/Earl Purdy. It's a facebook.com / Earl Purdy. And you can watch it from home. Same thing about the Course of Love. And so this is our opportunity to join. This is our opportunity to have community. It'll last as long as you want it to. If you don't want it to happen, then it won't happen. You know. So I want to thank you who still come, even though you can watch it online, and I'm grateful for those of you who watch it online. But it's great to have community. But if it stops, I'm on a level of consciousness that I believe is in divine order, and that's what God wants me to stop doing right now, and I'll do something else. I've been doing this full time for 30 years this year. I have had to live by faith and trust. I know this will produce miracles. It's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest thing in the world because it's so effective. So if you want miracles, you can have miracles with the Course of Miracles. But I'm not going to pretend that it's going to be Mac truth. Like a McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be Mac truth. It's going to be, you have to give it some attention and some study. But you'll be amazed at what will happen in your life. It'll be deep. So I'm going to end this one more time, finally with the responsibility for sight. Those of you online, thank you. Those in here, here we go. And I'm responsible for what I see. You ready? Here we go. You all are so cool. I had a good time with you today. Did y'all have a good time?
Yeah.
You know, when you tortured in joy. Yeah. I think I'll do this one instead. I'm responsible for what I see. I think this one will fit also with that. This is really good. This is johnChristmas.com. Say what? I'm not a victim of the world I see. What? I'm not a victim. Now watch this. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no. Of what? Of the world I see. Are you not a victim? I'm not a victim of my mom. I'm not a victim of my mom. I'm not a victim of events and circumstance at all. I'm not a victim, not a victim of the world. Would you say that? I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now, what it done to me, is what I done to me. And that's the good stuff. Don't forget the good stuff. I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. Of the world I see, I'm not a victim of the world I see. Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me, including the good stuff. Hey, can I get this? I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Go to my website, sign up for my contact list at my website, because I am going to be doing advanced workshops on the Course in Miracles in the fall. So I want to be able to contact you and let you know. Same thing online. Just go to my website or just come up here and sign it on the list so that I can let you know. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
Everybody with me on that? My God. My God. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There's going to be an announcement, right? In just a minute, but I'm going to cut this off. They don't want to hear it. So, oh my God. You all are such a blessing. You luscious people online. I'll go this way. I'm going to have my butt in your face. You don't mind, right? Okay, all right. All right, the butt roll.